Hey everyone, I'm just here. I'm bored. I'm kind of bored. Kind of like, how he know the camera is on? He was just quiet until the camera, you know, I don't know. Well, first, I want to start by saying, how, happy I am at this present moment with I just found out about Mr. Ice Cube, the legendary Ice Cube, whom I learned a while back. He kind of betrayed the Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Mohammed, and went separate way. But he's back. It seems like he's back, and for how long? Just like Professor Black is like whoever they can get the ball faster to the next level, to the next people, they're gonna make this possible. You know, um, reparations. I mean, serious, real reparations to ADOS, or to um, direct descendants of the kidnappings. So yeah, I mean, like, I just read a few comments. Everybody like, how stupid of him, like whatever, he he's flip flopping. I love the part with the Italian mafia. One of the Cuomo's pest we got here in the Empire State. And talking about October 12th, and you don't, here in New York City, and we don't mention that this shit is called the Empire State, and that we do is just promote, imperialism, the Monroe Doctrine, all these catastrophic policies that bring so much pain and blood, murders into other countries. Like Bolivia, they are, as I speak, they are attempting to reverse the coup d'etat from October 20th last year, 2019, by going to the elections, with the same actors who orchestrated the coup. Actually, the military, who was actually purchased by the United Slaves government, is the one who's going to be, watching the polls and the ballots and everything. They are going to be transporting them, you know, from one place to another, and they're not even going to show the pictures of people. Everybody's going to take a picture of their vote, and they thought it was going to be like before. Somehow they cuckoo. They thought it was going to be like before, that they was going to be watching the pictures, and how it developed each site, voting site. So, like, I just saw a clip from this guy, and he's gay, so he tried to go like all smart, like, oh, you say you wasn't never gonna work for that orange piece of shit, and now you're like, you run to him like whatever. And he did not even as much as allow him to take it in that direction. Immediately he went, okay, if we're gonna start, let's start by You're making it sound very different than it actually happened. The Democrats, the rats call me, and they said it was great proposal, and right after the elections, we're gonna talk all about it. It's like vote first, and we'll see, we'll see, like, and yes, that's what previous African American leaders, quote unquote leaders, bought and paid leaders, agents, COINTELPRO, and all that bullshit. That's the way they operated, and that's the way they told everybody, not only African Americans. That's the way, I mean, if we're gonna own up, we're gonna own up to everything. It was like, um, it was the African Americans, after the lynching of Emmett Till, and all that was pretty much impeccable, and stuff, until it became the Jewish and the gays and white women's, especially white women's, who made us all believe that first is the sisterhood. Oh, the sisterhood is the most important. How can we want to have sisterhood with the slave owner's wife? How are you going to have sisterhood with the slave owners' wives? Not only that, with the slave owners themselves. These bitches owned a lot of Africans, your ancestors that you are so outraged, like, what reparations? Like, as if you actually give a damn about them. I'm talking about a lot of African Americans who just really don't, because I mean, you can tell by somebody's actions when they're not proud of who they are. The self-esteem is very low, and it's just like, I feel like that's one of the worst stigmas for African American brothers and sisters, trying to escape slavery. And I mean, I get it at one point. I mean, I think I get it. I should say that. I think I get it because, how we other peoples, we are crazies. And we always feel like the most oppressed groups do. So, but I mean, at the same time, it was like great scholars, African scholars, Black scholars, who said like, slavery is something to be studied, to be focused on to a certain extent. That our history did not start there. I'm talking about our African history. Black history did not start it, in slavery. You don't like that either. It's just a bunch of hoax. There's some guy, like totally lunatic saying that, it just, the what they call it, hidden colors generation, something like that. They're a bunch of idiots, and just, I mean, a big problem is that our African American brothers and sisters do not take out their trash. They don't take out the trash. They let them rot until they die. Like Messy Jesse still fucking around. Al Sharpton, all these characters, and their organizations, they are worth, good money. Good money. I mean, this is the nonprofit industrial complex. But let's go back. Oh, so he said that, in case that seemed like everybody missed that part. It's like right off the bat, he said like, no, the rats, wanted to talk. They say want to go later. The the coons or cons, the con artists, the Republicans, or Coons, they wanted to talk, you know, more about it before the elections. They actually wanted to sit down and talk before the elections. That's what I did. Where's the sellout? Where is the me changing my mind? You know, it's like if it's actually, I gotta hear what they have to say before I say no. Otherwise, they look like crazy, right? Otherwise, you know, people look like crazy if they don't listen to the crackers, right? As far as I know, he did not sign any paper and did not do anything in representation of Americans, black descendants of slavery, right? So you know, but it's just like you can tell, like, you know, I was reading all that and it occurred to me again, you know, like, you know, our African American brothers and sisters are the Venezuela, you know, but inside the United slaves. And I mean, it's just like the attacks are very, very similar. The attacks are very, very similar, you know, like how they do all these tactics we see against Venezuela. They're the same tactics that was used against African states, African leaders, you know, black nationalist leaders, you know, the ones that they really wanted to decolonize the continent, the mother continent, you know. So, but it's like you see how, you know, Latin America did not give a damn about the pain and suffering of the mother continent, Africa. And then, you know, Africa don't study right now, you know, what's happening in South America. So, you know, it's kind of like they're using sometimes the same tactics. You can predict the future by studying the tactics. You can, like, you know, you can come up with a plan and predict their actions, you know, what's going to be next. If we do that, we did that here in Latin America. If we did that in Latin America, we would like predict everything. And as a matter of fact, actually, there has been some who have studied the African struggle. So, you know, that has benefited, you know, some countries. I'm sure it benefited Venezuelans, which have a really high population of, you know, the African diaspora. You know, Afro-Venezuelan is a large population. I mean, Bolivia too. I didn't even know Bolivia. Colombia, of course. We always knew about Colombia, right? But it's just kind of like, oh, you have to keep it. You have to keep it, you know, secret. You got to keep it a secret because no, that's not the face we want to give to the world. We are not an African country in the Americas, and you know, and the disasters. It's a disaster because you got a chip on your shoulder. But you know, going back to, you know, this is what I wanted to talk about. A while back, I read that the United States government allocate millions of dollars a year in funding for astrology, right? And you know, there's always like the videos that you have over there. Oh, you remember the Reagans? You know, Nancy Reagan, she wouldn't get out of her bed without her astrologer, without, like, you know, I mean, they always have, and they all do. I mean, we can tell me, like, you know, the similarities of, you know, just Washington D.C., you know, and Kemet, you know, the same alignment of the buildings, even a so-called obelisk, you know, which is a phallus. It's a phallus of Osiris, you know, Aser, I believe that is his original name, Aser, right? So yeah, we're seeing all the time. You know, I was just listening to the great priest Isaac talking about, you know, you say, did you know that Elizabeth became, Queen Elizabeth II in Africa. While she was in Africa, why they made sure she was in Africa while the other guy died? And what's it called? He put it in. I don't like too much space about. I don't know why I'm so like. I don't like the ceiling. I don't like the ceiling. I had to find a way to raise that shit because I don't like to see the ceiling. So, and sure enough, like I forgot what television network was it, given the news at the time, and said this is like in Kenya. Well, she was in Kenya. Surprisingly enough, she became queen. Oh my god, she became the queen of the empire, whatever it was called. Bullshit, Great, great Britain. Everything they do is great. Of course, it's like if they don't toot their own horn, they have to pay to somebody to toot their horn. Um, so that was very like, I was like, I wasn't surprised. And it was like, because they always, the more I watch African television, and like I said, well, it's gonna be like a year, or is it a year already I'm reading African Twitter, and that I become surprised sometimes. It's just like, from the garments, from everything, it's just a ripoff. I guess from of the Grimaldi, which was one of the first families, or nations who migrated up north, right? So, and right now in Monaco, they say they are direct descendants of the Grimaldis, and they can trace their lineage almost 6,000 years back, supposedly. So, and then they do have Queen Charlotte, an African woman, and they do like, but everybody like, oh, that's not true. That is just so stupid. That is like, okay. And it's very easy to get in front of a webcam or a phone and just start spewing. And this is why it's also a big responsibility, that now I cut off the flag. So so I was like, really, millions of dollars budget for astrology every year. So, well, this one is not necessarily a rant yet. I don't know if it's going to turn into a rant. This is why I hate to title shit, because you don't know what's going to come out. But you gotta wonder, why all these people like, so alarming, even the ones that I watch, because I feel like they are actually really looking at planetary positions, which is something that, everybody should do, because, any one of us might encounter some breakthrough, some, like say like, yes, this is a what's it called, like a 4-point quadratura, or quadration, I forgot how they say that in this language, or there's, that is, and and I think I've been thinking about, what Miss Nadia Shah said one day, not long ago. I think it was like 2 months ago, something like that, one of the horoscopes she gave. And it's fascinating because, as we going through phenomena like we're going today, phenomena. It's phenomenon. It's not the crackers that actually designed this fucking virus in here in Fort Dietrich, in Fort Dietrich here in, I think in Philadelphia, as bacteriological weapon, against, like the same, like all the other ones. They have been like, what was the one that they released against Vietnam? Oh, that was AIDS. That was HIV. HIV was yeah, I remember, and I don't know if it's true or not. Supposedly, I don't know. I watched that movie, unfortunately, about the stupid crackers praising his Confederate ankle. It's like when I watched it, I was like, I forgot what year it was. Somebody took me to watch it. So they said that the woman, the Karen, um, uh, she was in Vietnam or something like that, and she had become infected with HIV or something. No, she was not. Her boy, what? She was like a slut. I think that's what they meant. She was like, slut, and she fucked with Vietnam soldiers, and a bunch of people got HIV from Vietnam. Because I talked to several Puerto Ricans here in New York City, saying like, hey, I had cousins, I had uncles, I had my aunt, they died the same way, from AIDS, what is known as full blown AIDS, the Kaposi sarcoma, all the symptoms, the belly, the like, all that shit is just like, and I talked to like five different ones throughout different times, and they all say in different spaces, the different walks of life, and they said, that's what it was. And I believe also in the African American community, they had AIDS patients before it was just the same way that those mysteriously died, Americans in Dominican Republic. That was like almost 2 years ago, wasn't it? Like 2 years ago, that they died, and they thought that they was being poisoned in the hotel or something. And you look at the system of these tourists in Dominican Republic. They die. They the same symptoms as this, the Wuhan virus, the so-called Wuhan virus, but it's like Fort Detrick virus. That's what it should be called, actually. So there's people who die. Even last year here in New York City, the same symptoms. Nobody want to listen to them. None of the networks want to be like, for real, come and listen. I'm telling you how. Let me tell you how my sister died right now, and they don't want to hear it, right? They don't want to hear it because they know that shit been around here. It's just like the flu, but there was that's why they didn't lift a finger for us. We had more than 3 months ahead of China. What they do? They took off insurance policies. I'm talking about like 2 or 3 insurance policies against vandalism, against like, you name it. They have all these. That's what they did. Oh, they switched their assets on, in the what's it called? Like in Wall Street and all those institutions. That's what they did. And I always tell people, I remember very well because I was watching that every day, all night too. The first thing Governor Cuomo in New York State, and Bill de Blasio in New York City, the mayor of New York City, did was to request heavy military presence in New York State, in New York City. Not respirators, not, whatever ventilators, whatever, no, this and that. So, but people, they don't see that. They don't see that. At the very height of the pandemic, that bunch of people was dying, and dying. As we see number, I saw 3 different nurses, you know, straight up just telling like it was, telling like it was right there and then. We are killing all these people. They put all these, the ones that are not graduated still, that they are like, practicing the whatever, the practicants, the ones that they're doing their service or whatever, that I forgot how they said that in this language. They're putting them to do intubations, and they miss every time, and they kill people like this, and they go like, oops, you're practicing, that's okay. So this is what I left last time, because I forgot. I mean, it was too extensive too, and then I ended up pressing the wrong thing. So I was gonna say, they all have the same. If you listen to them, I mean, even just for your sign, just for your own sign, you don't want to listen about, well, we all have to listen to our ascending sign, depending what time you was born. My mom, she claimed I was born at 5 in the morning. She said, no, I have, my ascending is Pisces. So that's why I had like, I don't know if that was shit, it's karmic or some shit, because if you're a fire sign, how come you're like, you have a water sign, right? So I always felt like that was a joke, some cosmic joke, fire and water. But I'm sure it kept me from probably doing some crazy ass things. I don't know. Well, according to all these astrologers, which, by the way, most of them, they call themselves astrologers, but they are not, because what they do, they do tarot readings. They just say whatever it come out, like, I mean, just think about it, like, how like the spirits are gonna be like at their command when they are, sometimes it's just doing it live. They're reading tarot live, and on command. You call them, and then they read the tarot. I don't know anything about that, to tell you the truth. So, but to me, I was like, what about when it come to you? If it come to you, you should make a video. If you like, if you have this and that. And I mean, of course, they're supposed to be fasting. They're supposed to be, just like a babalao, like in spiritual traditions, spirituality or spiritism, whatever they call it, like, like it's crazy or like it's evil, to deal with our, own people. Just because, oh, they died, like, oh no, they are not from here no more. That's how fucked up, the white thing is. Like, oh, if I don't see it, don't exist. Even if they see it, they're like, I mean, they see the Bolivians had their elections. They see their elections was totally clean. Of course, the Organization of American States, Almagro, what's his name? That fucking devil. He said later on, oh, there was no election fraud. There was no electoral fraud. The level of cynicism. Did they lift a finger to reinstate the government of President Evo Morales and his cabinet? Of course not. They killed half of them. and the other half are in my country, in exile, refugees, political prisoners. You know, that's what they did, and all with the blessing of the United Slaves of America. Which is spelled with three K's, not with a C. So it's just like I just get tired of them. Like I feel like I don't really want to watch them or listen to them no more because it's just so much bullshit. Like as to say, like I just listening to one saying, oh, the galactic war is just like this, and it's just like, oh, is there rather be anywhere than here on this planet when it comes to taking action? I'm not saying that it's not a good idea, to be chanting, to be, you know, humming the earth sound, to be barefoot in the soil, and to bury your hands in the soil, and all that stuff. Of course it is, but that's part of the whole thing. It's a holistic genocide. It is holistic genocide. So we must have a holistic approach. But when they come and saying that, oh no, you know what? All this shit is meant to be. All this shit, slavery was meant to be. Oh, it was in the planets. You look at the planets, you can go back and read in the planets. It was right there. There was no escaping. That is bullshit. That is bullshit. Those are war tactics. That's propaganda. That's misinformation. That's misleading, as to say. And they are a big part of the problem. And they need to pay the consequences of the world that they're creating every day. Because I listen in Latin America, we don't speak this language. And I listen in this language, which we don't speak in Latin America. So it's totally different. And they all, just like all the news stations, just like all the broadcasting stations, they all say the same thing. They all get their same position papers, and that's what the line they have to follow, and they have to speak only about that, and they have to make sure they make it trend. Not what the people say, what they say, that's what they make trend. And wow, it's just like, you see sometimes in an hour, shit, 25,000 views. 25,000 views. And you go like, oh, they're doing no harm. They're doing no, are they for real? Not doing no harm? I mean, just look what we just had this year. What we had this year. He was able to completely paralyze the system for almost 2 weeks, if not 2 weeks. Anybody, at least, they said like, I'm going to proclaim myself president of the United States. Anything. I was like pulling my hair out. I can be like, and what we saw our poor African American brothers and sisters, please, master, we are not burning shit. We are not touching your property, master. It is the evil speaks. It is those anti-fascists, anarchists, the devils. Master, don't get mad at us. I was like, are you serious? Are you effing serious that you actually, gonna be like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just, what do we imagine liberation gonna look like? Maybe, well, we might be just going, 24 hours without electricity. That's horrible. That's a horrible inconvenience. Not really. Not really. Might be 2 years, might be 10 years with no electricity. So, I mean, we've been proven. I just uploaded a video in my other channel about this woman founding this communication device in the bra of her daughter, a pink from Pink, and she showed it right there. That shit give you chills. It is just this, like the ones that they used to do the pictures with, that film, the plastic film, and it got all this shit like right there. So, and you think, that was it? You think they shut down that corporation, the manufacturers who making those bras? You think that, the people was there protesting day and night until they shut down and don't let nobody buy from them ever again? So stop your bullshit. Like, bring back our girls. Oh, Miss Kanika Jenkins. You don't give a fuck about nothing. You just want a good soap opera or opera, or I say that. Same shit. And you just want, be entertained, stimulated, and of course, a photo op, an occasion to go and like this lady, you go like, oh, you watch this shit, and you go like this lady, like, oh, look, it's just like right here, my daughter just bought this bra, and look at it, and it's pink, and she said it like 2 times. It's not Victoria's Secret, it's pink. You got to think about it. Like, why does she care about Victoria's Secret reputation for? I mean, like, every day I see them on 125th Street. They have the barricades. They have the barricades. They have the red the red like in the clubs to get in, and a gallon of hand sanitizer. Yeah, that's a metaphor right there for these filthy ass bitches fucking sucking white cock. I mean, like, you know, it is. Oh, but if you make a comment on all these channels, they immediately erase it. Immediately erase it. It's like, whatever. How come there's budget for you and your astrology? I mean, I'm gonna say, like, there's few astrologers that actually they do their own research, their own, like, you know, but most of them is just it's just like having a great life, going to the conferences, being a celebrity, and they are very tight like this. They are very tight, especially with the whites. They always have them in their shows, and they give them these introductions. Oh, the master cracker. You gotta be like, is the Mutual Admiration Society. Not against them, the bad wenches, but the other way around is like, oh, you gotta be, you are amazing, you are like whatever, you're a genius, you're like, yeah. And so anybody anytime discuss them, what is the budget? I don't believe that black astrologers they get budget, but the white astrologers they do, and the black astrologers they only watching the white astrologers. There's this cracker who even have like from the Middle Age armory. It got two. They call it, I guess they call it knights. Nights. Why they call them nights? Because it was black, right? They didn't call them days. So um, it's just like I say, it's very frustrating to see moments of revolutionary energy and a bunch of cowards. Revolutionary energy and a bunch of cowards, celebrities, all of them, the woke conscious community, whatever, are like, that's why they hate Dr. Umar Johnson, because he is a non-nonsense. He is like always, always, always improving himself, now he is even doing like numerology, but especially African spirituality. I mean, who's doing that? I mean, at that level, I mean, like, and taking it seriously in African spirituality, ascending the great, and he's not doing it. It's actually the people who is doing it, making it happen for him. The whole ceremony, and hopefully, I mean, he'll become Babalao. You know, at the same time, because the more I read, the more I research, it's like, yeah, there was no such thing as politics and all that stuff. Everything was everything. Everything was everything. It was not like like spiritual ceremonies and political ceremonies. It was like, no, it was integrated. It was not compartmentalized. But the whites, they thought it's like, shit, this is too complicated. So we gotta dissect it, destroy it, and then we put together different parts, and you take that part, I take that part, she take that part, and we try to understand whatever we can. Because what they was trying to understand it with the mind, not with the spirit, not in a holistic way, not in a what's it called, yeah, holistic, as a whole. As a whole, you cannot understand it. This is like, I was born in Mexico, so I mean, there's no way you're gonna understand Mexico by dividing it, and you go like, oh, no, 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 let's study that state. Let's study the state of Veracruz. You study the state of Oaxaca. You study the state of Chihuahua. And so no, you're not gonna understand a country. You don't understand a country. You understand maybe something about different states, but each state, feed of each other state, of other state. That's how it happened. Constantly, constantly. My state is surrounded by like 5 states and the Pacific Ocean. You're gonna talk to me? You gotta get to our level? It's like, bitch, please. I'm like, I mean, there's so much land in the United States that don't even touch the oceans like that. So I mean, there was something else I wanted to talk about astrology. I mean, the tarot reading, I think I already said it. I didn't mention the first video, but I mean, I feel like, I already said it. I feel like, I'm skeptical of these interpretations, and, there's a million styles of tarot cards, and, they have to look at the card and then try to interpret whatever the card said. Like, like I got for last week, I told you, I got Anubis. Aries it got Anubis. And she says, sorry to give you the bad news. They're like, whatever. Like, I said, like, yes, it could be. It could be that, a bunch of Aries we're going to die. I don't know. But it could be also that we're going to be accessing higher levels in the spiritual realm. And maybe that's why, shit, I've been so triggered about eating garbage. Literally, fried garbage, starch, shit. I mean, like, I never had this in a year. In a year, I never had this in the whole 1 year. I was like, I'm not gonna say perfect, but at least 3 4 days I was eating vegetables, electric vegetables, making my own soups with quinoa or amaranth. And I recommend you those because they clean your stomach very well. They clean your stomach very well. You go like, whoa, it's like it's a fast track to a better gut. So, and this is like, maybe that's where that come from. Say, oh, he got guts, she got guts. That mean, strong immune system. And we just found that, like, what is like 2 3 decades ago, or at least that's what they told us, that the immune system is in the gut. You got a strong immune system, you're a strong person. Just as simple as that. I love how the whites are pushing that word, resilience. Resilience. That is some freaking bullshit. Resilience. Oh, you recover real fast from really bad trauma. What the hell that sound like to you? Hmm? I'm already telling you, bitch, don't die on me, because I'm gonna be fucking you up even more. I want to have somebody to torture. That's what they're telling us right there. You gotta wake up. I mean, like, to that fact that they are not really gonna be pushing for our actual prosperity, much less longevity. It's not gonna happen. It is not gonna happen. Longevity, yes, but in the system, making them at least, $500 a day. At least. You gotta produce. Imagine that. How long it take people, to make, $500 clean. I know they make $500 in one day, but they get FICA, they get all these taxes, they get all, the union fees, they all this bullshit. So I'm talking about 500. A week, no, 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks to make to clear $500 for millions of people in this country alone. And I'm talking about in dollars. That this is, where the dollar is supposed to be working the best. So, now can you imagine you as a human being? I mean, like that movie, The Matrix, that shit is short, missing a lot of truth. It is missing a lot of truth. Right now, we are producing $500 a day or more, depending about the comorbidities. You got comorbidities. You can look it up. That's just like side effects. It's like side effect. The diabetes. Put a person at very high risk of many other diseases. So those are the side effects of diabetes. So it's like a jackpot. It's like they have the jackpot. They hit the jackpot every day because we are producing. Yeah, but even a person who don't have any chronic diseases, who don't have not even the fast diseases, whatever, like a cold or whatever, like a perishable a perishable disease, right? um it's just people buy like drops to moisture your eyes, and that shit is $5 for real, for water. $5 for a tiny little bottle of water. Okay. Cuckoo. What do people buy to? Oh, the sanitizer. Imagine if they want to kill us all. All right now, all they gotta do is just put in the sanitizer because these bitches are out of control. Out of control. They go like, you know, cannot be not 2 minutes. 2 minutes without the hand sanitizer. For real. You go like, I'm walking around in the bus and boom, that smell again. Boom, that smell again. Boom, that smell again. I'm like, it's like I heard about the soundtrack, to an episode, whatever, but not the smell. I haven't heard the smell. You know what I mean? I just have not heard like smell was to be the stamp. You know, it's just like, come on, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Can you go at least 5 minutes without hitting, without getting your fixed, whatever without you like, no, 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 you know, bitches goes the handbag and immediately like again, open the handbag and I think it's the smell. The smell gotta be like a drug because they kind of like put their hands over here, like they're getting a hit, of something. It's just very scary, very irrational behavior. It's just irrational. I mean, come on. Jogging, cycling, spinning, whatever they call it, with a mask, with a mask. And you can look it up. In Europe, they sell masks for swimming. Yeah, regular mask for swimming. They just call it for swimming. And, people, they don't even follow up like what's going on. I see all these accounts that are very suspicious twittering about that, shit, I always wanted to be with a face mask 24/7. What's that right there? What is it? Don't get it? That shit is transhumanism. That's just transhumanism. Like, oh, you like they make you. I was just telling this person, this man, this gentleman I run into. You know, I was just telling him that my train of thought. I was listening to the new member of the family, and it's got to be a girl. I haven't seen it, and he wasn't able to see it. He caught it for me. I made another video. I think I posted already about that. 2 days. I was like hoping, and I would come home empty-handed. Um, I gotta remember, right? I gotta remember what I was saying. I gotta remember. I know what they said. It wasn't meant to be. Come on. Some things, yes. Not everything. Not everything is a sign. Can we agree on that, Liz? At the very least. Come on. Mm. Yeah, the hand sanitizer, which is a cult. No, it's a freaking cult. I'm telling you, cult. And I just can't see. I mean, am I the only one? This joy people have on wearing a mask. I've been trying to study it. I've been like studying it or whatever. And it's like they found a shortcut, the lazy way to be, righteous, to be righteous, to be a righteous woman. Yeah, these bitches are fucking 3 guys a day, 3 different guys in one day. But just by wearing a mask, you are the most self-righteous. You're a superhero, because that's what they tell us, because you're stopping the spread of the smallest particle known to humans and supposedly known to mankind, aka the whites, because they're kind of man, mankind. Yeah, they made it up, because you look at etymology, you put human etymology. What's the etymology of the word human? Just ask that shit that. It got to tell you. Hue means black, right? So right there alone, tell you they are not human, and they know they're not human. So much they know it that they came out with mankind. Mankind, they even a shameless and psychopathic, sociopathic, whatever they are, they had to come out and say like mankind, mankind, like the ish. I don't know. I think I'm not gonna remember that, so I should cut it off. I might do part 3, because there's some other stuff I wanted to talk, but make sure Mr. Ice Cube, hear you, see you, feel you, your support. As much as they can, I mean, or we, I should say that too, we can point out, toxic, negative, I mean, really toxic, not just like, what they call it, cyber violence is the same or worse as real violence. I mean, literally, that's what they're saying. Dying in the cyber world, in the world of the internet, the social media, the bullshit, is worse than dying in real life. But in the internet, these bitches, they don't pay taxes, they don't pay nothing. They're a fictitious character. But that's the delusion. That's how far we're going. And people still don't wake up. So what else we gonna do? There's nothing else we can do. I mean, I've tried different approaches. I tried different approaches for some reason. I mean, what it is like, that's what I suspect. No, I never heard nobody saying these. Well, what I see is like doing great things at the wrong time. That's something the crackers are always really careful about it. When they're gonna start their shit. As I just told you, Elizabeth, the bitch of whatever, um, she had to be in Kenya to receive the news that she was the queen of England, and immediately started doing her functions as a queen. And we have to study that right there, because she must have had been given big blows, real big blows. Why? Because, oh, the new queen, whatever, blah blah, smoke screen. We don't know. Oh, she's in Kenya. What was she in Kenya doing? What was she in Africa, touring Africa, making sure she was going to be named for the first time queen in Africa? Legitimization in cosmic ways. Everything they do, but it's just like, oh, this is bullshit. Yeah, I just told you it is bullshit, because I am like, Second Amendment, reversing the Ma'afa, people who have to go back to the caves gotta go back to the caves. Again, minimum another 1,000 years. Minimum another 1,000 years. And that's good, because, we are gaining the quartz. We are finally starting getting, you know, a little better, slightly better places in international courts. That's what I heard, especially like Latin America, with Cuba and Venezuela. And we was just punished because, even when we was very, very dignified, when we had to meet with that orange piece of shit, now the crackers in Europe, they say that we were too kind to that orange piece of shit. And they're hitting us, and they're hitting us, and they're hitting us with, to take our rightful place. That's something they cannot do. But we stay quiet and we let, oh, they're whites. They can like, where it don't mean that, unless that you are actually proven that, you're orchestrating mass genocide, that you're orchestrating, a series of crimes of less humanity, or whatever they said in English. I forgot. Crimes against humanity. I'm sorry. Crimes against humanity. You got to be proven. And for all that, you got to go to the court, international courts, to approve that you as a country do not deserve to have that spot that is rightfully yours, and that everybody is claiming and was waiting for you to take it. Talk about the case of Mexico. Our rightful place in whatever level of power that we are supposed to be by laws, international laws. And those international laws, they really don't say, oh, if the whites, don't want to give it to you, then, I mean, if they do, you got to show me that. You got to show me that where it actually said, because we got to deal with that. We got to deal with that, the fact that, it is our time. It is our time. We are doing everything. We are paying all our debt. We are paying all our debt on time, unlike, the United States. They've been defaulted for a while, and defaulted and delusional. I should make another video. Defaulted and delusional. And that's the way it gotta be until, they get a chance to get back up on their feet. And yes, I said it right. They need time to get back up on their feet. They need time to recover, regroup, and re-strategize. We have all this time and we don't act up. All this time we got. And just look around. I mean, like, I don't know, people that watch, I don't know what they're fucking watching, because just look around. Your government has been kicked out of everywhere. Everywhere is getting kicked out. Even Germany said, we are not doing any sanctions against Iran. We are not joining your personal vendetta. I mean, I'm talking about serious disrespects. Serious disrespecting. And there's nothing your government can do, because, it's the wrong time, at the wrong place, with the wrong peoples. So that's what we need to go back to before I hang up this thing. We need to get back to, synchronicity, appropriate, well, first of all, we got to have the knowledge. We haven't have the exact knowledge of the stars and everybody up there who are influencing or promoting, let's just say promoting certain energies, and that the whites always use, but we don't. They already got the map. They already got the, the whole thing ahead of time. So they know, like, hey, we're going to be planning this matrix over here on, I don't know, the Ethiopian dam, and which, I mean, is ridiculous. I mean, that should have been resolved a long time ago. I mean, it's just like international law. It's not like, why are we allowing them then to say, like, oh no, because the whites says so. The whites said that you should respect their colonial borders. Are you serious? I mean, it's just like, it's the world backwards. I might come back later on.